Going through tough times can change a person in ways others might not see. Some signs are obvious, while others are much harder to spot. The truth is, when someone has been through hell and back, they don't always show it on the outside. But their behavior, their way of looking at the world, and how they act around others can tell you everything you need to know. You might think you know someone well, but there could be things they carry with them every day that no one else sees. So, if you've noticed someone acting a little different, a little tougher, or maybe more distant, these signs could be why. In this video, we'll take a look at the signs that show when someone has been through serious struggles. It's not always what you can see on the surface. The people around you may have been through far more than you realize. So, stick around, because what you're about to hear could change the way you understand the people in your life. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Number 1. Strong no matter what. A person who has been through serious hardship develops an inner strength that's hard to ignore. Even when life gets tough, this strength keeps them moving forward. It's not about being fearless, but about facing fear head-on. Their ability to push through challenges shows a level of resilience that comes from surviving tough situations. They might not always show it, but there's a calmness in the way they carry themselves. This kind of strength is built over time, through experiences that demand a lot of emotional and mental energy. The person may not express vulnerability easily, but underneath, they know they can handle whatever comes their way. It's the kind of strength that comes with battle scars, those hard lessons learned in the most difficult ways. It could be how they approach problems with a sense of quiet confidence, or how they stand tall. No matter what comes their way, people who have been through hell often carry themselves in a way that shows they've learned to rely on their own abilities, their own determination to survive. Number 2. Always on guard. When someone has been through a lot, they tend to be cautious about their surroundings and the people around them. This doesn't mean they're paranoid, but they've learned that life can change in an instant. Being on guard is a way of protecting themselves from being hurt again. This could mean they're careful with their trust or take longer to let their guard down with others. They're constantly aware of what's happening around them and can pick up on subtle changes in body language or tone. This heightened awareness is a defense mechanism that's developed from dealing with difficult situations in the past. They're always calculating, evaluating, and preparing for the worst because they know from experience that things can go wrong quickly. Being on guard doesn't always mean they are being defensive or closed off. It's just their way of coping with the unpredictability of life. In a way, it's a form of protection. It's a habit they've developed to keep themselves safe, emotionally and physically, after being exposed to so much pain or trauma. Number 3. Keeps their feelings hidden. When someone has been through hell, they often choose to keep their feelings to themselves. This is not because they don't have emotions or don't want to share, but because they've learned to guard their hearts. Opening up to others can feel risky, especially when they've experienced pain in the past. They may appear emotionally distant or closed off, not because they don't care about others, but because they're protecting themselves from getting hurt. These individuals are often excellent at hiding their emotions behind a mask of calmness or indifference. They've been taught that showing vulnerability might lead to disappointment, so they bottle up their feelings instead of expressing them. This doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It simply means they've learned to deal with their emotions privately. It could be that they're afraid of being judged, misunderstood, or abandoned, so they keep their true feelings inside. Over time, this emotional withholding becomes a defense mechanism, helping them avoid the pain they've experienced before. Number 4. Quietly tough. There's a certain toughness in people who faced hardships that doesn't scream for attention. They're the type of person who stays calm in a crisis, handling situations with grace and determination. They may not shout about their struggles, but their actions speak volumes about their ability to endure. They've developed a kind of quiet strength, a toughness that comes from surviving difficult times. This doesn't mean they're always tough in the traditional sense, but rather that they don't let hardship define them. They've learned how to keep going, even when things get tough, and they do so without much fanfare. This quiet toughness is often misunderstood as coldness or detachment, but in reality, it's a survival mechanism. It's the ability to keep moving forward, even when the world around them seems uncertain. The person who has been through hell and back doesn't need to boast about their strength. They show it through their actions, their resilience, and the way they handle life's challenges without complaining. Number 5. Eyes show pain. The eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for those who've been through immense hardship, their eyes tell a story. Even when they try to hide it, the pain they've endured can be seen in their gaze. It's not always obvious, but if you pay close attention, you'll notice a certain sadness or weariness behind their eyes. Their expressions may seem distant or lost in thought, as though they are revisiting memories from their past. Sometimes it's not just the sadness that shows, but also the strength and survival that are embedded in their gaze. There's a depth in their eyes that only comes from going through incredibly difficult experiences. People who've suffered or been through a lot often carry their pain in their eyes because it's something they can't fully escape from. Even if they smile or try to act normal, their eyes reveal the truth of what they've been through. Number 6. Sudden flashbacks. It's not unusual for someone who's been through hell to experience flashbacks to painful memories. These flashbacks may not always be obvious to others, but they're a very real part of life for someone who has endured trauma. A sudden reminder or trigger can cause them to momentarily relive the past, and they might not always know how to stop it. These moments can be unsettling, and they often happen unexpectedly. For instance, certain sounds, smells, or even places can bring back memories of hardship. This is a result of the brain trying to process trauma, and it can be overwhelming. Even when they don't show it, these they might withdraw or seem distant when this happens. Not because they want to be, but because they're trying to cope with memories that are too hard to handle. Flashbacks can affect their emotions, behavior, and interactions with others, and they may avoid certain situations that remind them of painful times. Number 7. Invisible scars. The hardest scars to heal are the ones you can't see. For those who have been through intense pain or suffering, the emotional scars they carry can be just as impactful, if not more so, than physical ones. These invisible scars often manifest in their behavior and reactions to situations. They might struggle with trust, avoid certain topics, or act more defensively than others. While they may appear fine on the outside, these deep emotional wounds shape how they see the world and interact with others. The scars might make them more cautious, more aware of their surroundings, or more protective of themselves. While the rest of the world may not see these scars, the person carrying them is constantly reminded of their past struggles. Healing from invisible scars is a long and complicated process, but it's something many people who have been through hell and back have to face every day. Number 8. Always ready for trouble. Someone who has been through tough times may find it hard to let their guard down. They're always anticipating the worst, even in calm situations. It's not that they want to be negative, it's just that their experiences have taught them to be ready for anything. When you've been through hell, you learn that life doesn't always go as planned, and bad things can happen when you least expect them. So, these individuals are always alert, always prepared for trouble, even if nothing bad is currently happening. This habit can make them seem a bit anxious or overprotective, but in their mind, it's just being realistic. They've learned that being prepared for the worst is one of the best ways to avoid being caught off guard. Number 9. Does things alone. Independence is a trait that often develops in people who have been through hardship. After dealing with difficult situations, many individuals choose to do things on their own rather than rely on others. They've learned to be self-sufficient, to trust only themselves, and to handle challenges alone. This can make them seem distant or unapproachable, but it's really a survival mechanism. Doing things alone gives them control over their situation, and they don't have to depend on anyone else. This might be because in the past, depending on others led to disappointment or betrayal. As a result, they have built their own sense of independence to keep themselves safe. While they may not seek help often, they're capable of handling life's challenges with a quiet confidence. Number ups and downs in their mood. People who have been through emotional struggles often have unpredictable moods. One minute, they might seem perfectly fine, and the next, they could be withdrawn or upset. This emotional roller coaster is a common result of past trauma or hardship. They've been through so much that it affects their emotional stability, even in everyday situations. Some moments may bring up painful memories, causing them to feel overwhelmed or on edge. Other times, they may feel a burst of strength and positivity. The key is that their moods can change rapidly, and it's not always something they can control. If you notice these mood swings, it's a sign that they're still working through what they've been through, and they may need understanding and patience. Number 11. Kind, but keeps distance. It's common for someone who has faced intense struggles to be kind, but they may keep their distance from others. They've learned to protect their hearts, and although they may offer warmth and compassion, they often keep a safe emotional distance. This habit is a defense mechanism. By keeping a distance, they can avoid getting hurt again. It's not that they don't care about others. It's just that they've been burned before and have learned to guard themselves. They may help when needed or offer advice, but they rarely open up about their own struggles. Keeping their emotions at arm's length is their way of staying safe while still offering kindness. Number 12. Survivor without saying much. Finally, people who've been through hell and back don't always wear their story on their sleeves. They don't feel the need to constantly talk about their past. Their survival and strength are evident in their actions, not their words. They've been through enough to know that their worth isn't defined by their struggles, so they rarely boast or share every detail of their journey. Instead, they show their strength through their ability to keep going, no matter what life throws at them. They don't need validation or sympathy. They just keep moving forward with quiet dignity. Sometimes, the most difficult experiences leave marks that no one can see. We might think we know someone, but it's easy to miss the invisible battles they face every day. The signs we talked about show just how much someone might be hiding. They've gone through challenges, pain, and struggles that have shaped them into who they are today. But they don't always wear those experiences on their sleeves. Instead, they carry them quietly, and their actions speak louder than words. When you understand the signs, it becomes easier to be there for those who might need support, even if they don't ask for it. Sometimes a little patience, understanding, or even a kind word can make all the difference to someone carrying these invisible burdens. So, next time you come across someone who seems distant, quiet, or a little tougher than usual, take a moment to think about what they might be going through. Their strength might not always show, but they've likely been through more than you realize. And when you see these signs, you'll know that they have a story worth listening to, even if they don't say it out loud. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about understanding people and the signs they might be showing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world to us and helps us create more content that can make a difference. You never know how much someone might need a little understanding. Share this video with someone who might need to hear this today. Thank you for watching, and remember to always be kind. You never know what someone might be going through.